All right, guys. This again is Tim Ross. I am the president of Mudlick Mail. I'm going to have Jason Forrester, my director of operations, who is also the market expert on my this particular program, is joining me as well. And we're just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about the program here in a few minutes. Just want to put some ground rules real quick. If you guys are all in a listen-only mode, we had a lot of people sign up for the webinar, and so that's the only way for us to really conduct it. So I've got you in a listen-only mode. Now there is the ability, if you have some questions, that you could type your questions in, and we could get back to you. As many of those questions as we can, we'll get back to you. The ones that we don't, we will definitely circle back with you guys. So I just want to thank everybody for jumping on board. We're really excited about this program. It's only going to last about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll definitely give you guys some contact points to get some information in. I will tell you just off the top, Mudlick Mail, for a lot of you guys who've done some business with us before, and we've got a lot of folks who do customer acquisition with us. We've been in business for about 8 years. We've been very successful at helping people grow their business with new customer acquisition postcards. And we had a lot of people ask us, hey, is there just a better way to do retention? There's a lot of ways out there. A lot of them are digital-based. And so we just really didn't want to put anything out there until we really felt like we had what we believe is a postcard-based program with a lot more intelligence to the marketing, a lot more customization and personalization before we wanted to get into this category. So we've been fortunate. We work with thousands of customers all over the country. We do probably, what do you say, Jason, about 120 million postcards annually? Mm-hmm. And so, we're looking to do close to 50 million in sales in 2016, and then a lot of it's just the success that we've had working with a lot of you guys. So I really want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for working with us. Now, this program, it's been in the making, as I mentioned, for a while. We're going to go through it. It's a pretty basic program. It's got a lot of great cool things with it. If you have some questions, please type it in the box that you have there on your webinar screen. There's a couple poll questions I'm going to ask you guys. But I think you'll find some very interesting information, and I think you're going to be very excited when we get done with this on where technology now has allowed us to go with this kind of a program. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start moving forward into the program. All right, so we're going to move on here. Let's see, slide 2. A little bit about us. My name is Tim Ross. You see that picture on the screen. One of the fastest growing small businesses in the country. We've got a 60% plus retention rate year over year. We do specialize in automotive service. We do direct mail. We've done 2,000. We work with over 2,000 business owners. We've done about 10 million pieces of direct mail per month. That can go as high as 12 to 14 depending on the month. Again, rated as a top 10 direct mail company for the last 2 years. We're really excited to be featured in some of those great magazines down there. So that gives you a little bit of history about us. Let's talk about customer retention and what that means. A lot of you guys have been in different programs over the years. This is a program I'm going to tell you is absolutely revolutionary for us. But we dug into some information of our own stores and thousands of stores around the country, and we came up with some pretty interesting information. 68% of customers leave because they perceive that you are indifferent to them. And I know all of us sometimes get very busy, and do we spend the right amount of time nurturing our customers? And so sending out personal communications routinely can tarnish any perception of that indifference, meaning it's a positive. If you're reaching out to people, and for us, it's via a postcard first. And then I'll talk about how we do a 1-2 punch with an email as we go on. But emails, there's a lot of digital clutter out there. We get thousands of emails throughout the course of a year, hundreds in a month, from everybody, from grocery stores, department stores, you name it. You guys all get the same kind of emails that I get, and it can get quite overwhelming. And so for us, although email is a very inexpensive way to touch our customers, it wasn't as personalized as we wanted it to be. It's 4 to 6 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to retain a current one. And so I know that we all know that, and for us it's become a way of life. And so just paying a minimal fee to have an automated retention marketing program is going to help balance out the expense of your acquisition marketing. And so the idea is, how do we starve off some of that drop-off and get less drop-off? A 5% increase in customer retention could increase your profits by up to a minimum of 25%. And why that number is so high is because your existing customers are already spending a larger amount of money with you. They've already built the trust. So if you have the right service and you can get the customer to come in at the right time with the right offer, that is where you're able to really maximize it. And that's where having a robust retention strategy is going to produce large bottom line results for you, both in the short term and in the long term. And we're going to share some of that information with you guys in a few minutes. Now, here was some very interesting information. One of the biggest challenges in general auto repair these days is retaining their customers. What we thought, hey, we've got a 60, 70, 80% retention rate. When you start digging in, and certainly everybody's different, but over half the customers that we brought in each year are new. And so that obviously tells us we have a huge retention opportunity there. The dealerships, and a lot of you guys obviously have bought cars over the years, the dealerships have got this process wired. You go buy a car there, you get emails or postcards, and a lot of it's postcards and different print literature about your car, accessories, warranty, service, you name it. They've done an incredible job now of really circling their customers and doing a great job of holding on to them. We've got to get as good, if not better, than those guys. The dealer share of service has increased over the last years. You know, a lot of you guys over the last few years have been just like us, where, you know, dealerships, people weren't buying cars. Dealerships had to get back in the service business. And so they've got into that business, and they've gotten really good at it now. Now, certainly dealerships aren't the best at it, but what they've become the best at is trying to retain those customers with a consistent flow of print and email dialogue. And so their service, their amount of business they've captured has increased. And if you take that into account, the last bullet there talks about days between visits has extended 4.2 days, which equals a total revenue loss of 12,000. Let me walk you through that. We all know that cars are built better, fluids are better, so cars aren't coming in. We're seeing a natural reduction in car count just because cars are built better. We've done nothing wrong. So you have this natural loss of amount of times that customers come in. Take that on to how many customers we lose through attrition. We make a bad mistake, they move, someone passes away, you know, and then you compound it all with people don't come in for oil changes on time. They don't come in for minor and major services on time, right? So people are now constantly pushing the envelope on how long they can come in. And so when you take all those factors and you start compounding, you know, how many people are coming in a little later, 1 month later, 2 months later, times that by your entire customer base throughout a 12-month period of time, and you've got significant revenue loss there. Sometimes those are hard to see. And so that's where this program is going to make a big difference. So the big difference for us is our automated weekly communications. Now, a lot of you guys are already kind of working with the program, or maybe you have in the past. The idea is for us, and hopefully you guys are seeing the main screen here. I got one question that says, can you maximize the slide so that we can read it better, please? So hopefully you guys are seeing the bigger slide on this, but I've got someone checking on that. But what I wanted to walk you through on this automated weekly communication is that we are able to hit people with specific needs at specific times based on their buying cycle. So what does this mean? Wouldn't it be great if you were able to send an offer to somebody and you're sending the offer based on what that customer has purchased from you in the past, what the vehicle actually needs from a service and maintenance standpoint, and then you look at what are the national redemption trends out there. What's the data look like on what are people using, what are they spending their money on? And so when you can take all that data together, that's when you have the opportunity to really maximize your opportunity on that customer. So what our program really focuses in on is our ability to target that a little bit tighter. So here are some of the services that we work on. The automated weekly communications. These are some standard communications we're all doing. You have your reactivations, your decline services, state requirements, and tires. So the goal now is how do we determine which ones to offer at what time? and which customers would come in and prioritize those based on the offers that are given to them. And so this is where the program is a little bit different. So I'm going to let Jason take over real quick and talk a little bit about the direct mail and how the direct mail postcards work, the communication works, and the email pen, and how we do the 1-2 punch.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, as Tim was saying, when it comes to customer retention programs, obviously we know there's a few different ones out there. They've got features, they've got benefits. So when we were rolling out, the Mudlick 360 program, we had to ask ourselves and ask our customers, what could we do to differentiate ourselves? What's happening in the market now, and what needs do those customers have that we could help meet? And a lot of the feedback that we got from the field was, well, I use the CRM program already, and it's very complicated. They want me to do a lot of things online. They want me to update my Facebook status every day or log into some kind of a dashboard. So from our perspective, we wanted to respond to that by simplifying. Right, and that's something that you'll hear over and over again as we talk about how to enroll, how to set up communications. It is this idea of keeping it as simple as possible, while at the same time maximizing those elements that bring the customers in. Right, we all have Facebook pages and we all put updates to it, but what we found is that a lot of times that you do digitally just don't drive the car count the way the way a postcard does, or even the way that a direct email outreach does. And so with Mudlick 360, we said, okay, let's carve away the things that overcomplicate and make these CRM programs difficult to use, and let's focus on those things that drive car count. So we're based around two different features. We've got the 6x9 postcard, which you get automatically as part of your program. And we've also got automated email drip campaigns. And once we get into the pricing and the totals a little further down in the presentation, you guys will see, that we're very competitive and actually meet and beat most of the competitors' prices in the market. But basically you're looking at a 6x9 postcard where you have full ability to control coloration, you have full ability to control branding, updated logos, custom coupons, things like that. And then you set different communications for different coupons. So you may want to send a certain offer to, a missed minor service reminder with maybe a slightly higher priced oil change. And then if you're going to participate in the lost reactivate customers, you might want to go a little bit more aggressive with an offer because that's a customer that you run the risk of losing, right? So for us, the idea was, what could we do to maximize response in as simple as a way as possible? And then, you follow that up with the email campaign, which in this program, you'll see we get about 2,000 emails per week is the limit, but we can certainly go over that. And we also have a feature, people hear email campaign and they say to themselves, oh, that's great, but, I know the guys at my front counter, they maybe don't do the greatest job in the world of catching those email addresses. Or we tried them in the past and we sent it out through MailChimp, and, we had in our 1,000 customer database, we actually sent it to 50 people. So we have a great feature called automatic email appending, where we'll jump into your database and we'll actually work with our data partners to find opt-in email addresses for the delivery addresses in your database. So go back to that first example. If you have 1,000 customers in your database, maybe you only have 100 valid email addresses for them. But when we're in your system and working with our data partners, we're actually able to go and find the additional email addresses to increase the push. And that's all included and rolled into the program. So again, as we go through the slides and as we continue to talk about how to sign up, the reporting, things like that, you're going to hear those two key features just repeated over and over again. Easy to use and easy to set up from the shop owner's perspective, and then focused on things that drive car count in a way that is trackable. So I'll turn it back over to Tim. We'll jump into the next slide.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next screen here. All right, so the next screen I want to talk a little bit about is, oh, let me go back here, went one too far. is enrollment screen. Jason, why don't you talk about what we've done is we've created a simple, easy process for you guys to enroll in the program and get some communication. So one of the frustrations I know people have is how hard is this thing? So we're just going to spend 2 minutes real quick. Just kind of walk through how we've made this simple, Jason.
Sure, absolutely. It all comes down to the enrollment form. Again, like we were just saying earlier, the CRM programs, they can be a beast. They can be a pain to sign up for. So, for our customers, we know shop owners, they're busy, they have a lot of things to do, and we want you managing your business. We don't want you to have to manage a CRM program. So the old philosophy is true, set it and forget it. Well, that's the way we've designed this program to work. If you're interested in enrolling, you would simply complete the enrollment form, and it has all the information we need to get you set up. Enter your shop information, enter your coupon information, enter the colors, logos, and features that you want to put in your communications, complete the form, and either email it or fax it over to us. And literally, that's all you have to do to get set up in the program. After that, our data partners will reach out to you to set the connection between your shop management system and the actual production system for the postcards. You can literally complete the entire process in about 20 minutes.
And guys, I bring this up. I'm going to go in some of the cool details right now. One of the things I really wanted to focus in on the slide is the personalization. I think for you guys, one of the things we found the success, and we're going to share some case stories here with you, is having that personal look. We want it branded to your store, and we want to make sure we're sending the right messaging out. And so we're going to talk a little bit about now Mudlick 360. It integrates with most point-of-sale systems. There are no long-term contracts. It's a 90-day cancellation, so you're not stuck into anything. And I'm going to talk about it's fully automated, meaning you guys can set it and forget it. It sends you guys weekly reports. It's got some incredible tracking, and we can integrate with just about everything. So let's get a little bit into some of the dashboards. I know a lot of you guys are probably all dashboarded out, but one of the things I think it's important is you have a good analytics of what's going on. Now, here's the thing, is I know as shop owners, you guys get busy. There's a lot going on. So what we've done is you can jump into the program. You can see exactly how many people are coming, what they look like, how much they spent, what are their invoices, what offers are they using. But we push these automated reports to you guys so we can create the program and set it up. So imagine this now. You're identifying the best 150 customers in your database that need service. And then when you decide to, when the system selects that, we're picking customers based on what their vehicle needs, what they bought in the past, and what are the offers nationally being redeemed out there. And you're sending them this personalized offer, and then you're able to track that offer and how did that customer come in, how much did they spend. And so for us, it's just it's a matter of being able to create a program that can stand alone on its own and have great analytics, but the response on it is because of the personalization and changes. And let me give you an example. Let's say, for instance, one of the #1 redeemed offers out there are state inspections. If you're in a state inspection state and your car's coming up for inspection, you have a high probability of going to do that inspection because you can't register your car without it. And so when you talk about the logic, you're going to, if you send an offer to a customer, and the idea on these retention postcards is to get people to come in so that you guys can have an opportunity to sell them and talk to them about their other service and maintenance needs, right? So that'd be a great way to get a customer in. If a customer's never spent more than $200 or $300 with you, you're not going to send them a big major service offer to try to drive them in. You might use an oil change. You might use an alignment. You might use something else based on what they've purchased, to get them back in the store. So the idea is we don't use postcards and as our salesperson. We use the customized, personalized postcards as a way to drive customers in because they're interested in a service that they've either they've bought before, or it's what helps them drive in because of what their vehicle needs. So this performance reports we do for you guys, it tracks everything from response, trending. It goes into, it can be an individual shop. I've got multiple shops that roll into it. So what I want you guys to understand is whether you have one shop or multiple shops, whether you change offers, all this stuff can be dynamically changed, and that everything is sent to you guys weekly. And so you have reports. Wouldn't you want to know exactly how many customers came in, what type of cars, makes, models, the distance from where they came? You know, are they new customers? How often have they come in? And so this is just another screen that allows you to really kind of understand where your customers are coming from. So again, to paint you guys the picture, you're focused on driving in existing customers with compelling offers based on their buying habits, based on what their vehicle needs, and then you're tracking them so that you can make sure the types of customers coming in, what are they coming in for. So not only does it help your retention of your existing customers, but you can build this out into your acquisition program as well.
Yeah, exactly, Tim. And to me, that's one of the most exciting features of the program is, you know, we call it Mudlick 360 because it's a full circle, right? We use the acquisition mailings to drive in new business, and then we use the retention mailings to keep those customers coming back. But at the same time, we can use the results of the retention mailing to help us improve the quality of the acquisition mailing. And, you know, we're going to see some things, some slides a little further on that really talk about, you know, not only do we dive in rather, to look at the results of the mailings themselves, but we can also get insights into your customer database. So in other words, you know, you may have, you know, sure, you may only send out 150 postcards per month or 2,000 emails per week, but you've got a customer database of 10,000 records or whatever the number is. We can actually look at those 10,000 records and not actually look at the specific details, but we're able to give you insights into, okay, what are my overall customers doing? Where do they live? What kind of services do they come in for? Because those are the things that are going to help you with that next acquisition piece. And if we go on to the next slide, one of the really, really cool features of Mudlick 360 in this reporting portal is the penetration maps, automated penetration maps that are based on your customer database. And again, it's not necessarily just the mail that we're sending out or just the retention marketing we're sending out, but it's everybody in your database. So to use this example, this is essentially a zip code map around a shop location. And it's a heat map for where your customers come from. So if you're, you know, wanting to put out some additional acquisition postcards, or if you're wanting to run a new special, you know, the first things you'd have to ask is, you know, where am I going? You know, where am I penetrating? Where are my customers coming from? And then, you know, what kinds of cars and what kinds of offers are my customer coming in? So, you know, for us, it's a great tool to help the quality of the acquisition campaign because it tells us things that we might not know on the surface.
Yeah, and a great question was asked about, you know, how does the program pick customers to communicate with? You know, and so that's a great question. So how this works is the program includes 150 postcards. You can, a lot of our customers who are doing this, we've put about a little over 40, I believe, shops on just in the last week, and we just launched it this week. It's kind of a soft launch. But how the program works is it selects the top 150 customers based on what their car vehicle needs are. And then it'll work its way out. So Jason, you want to go into a little more detail on how it selects the right people?
Yeah, so we had talked a little earlier about the different types of communications that are sent out. Standard communications include, you know, welcome, thank you for your visit, missed minor service reminders, missed major service reminders. So what happens is each of these communications is ranked. They're put into a hierarchy based on what our data team has found to be the ones that bring in the most customers, right? The best pull for each one of these communications. So each week as the data gets uploaded with our data team, it's going to run it through filters. It's going to run it through, you know, algorithms that say, okay, number one, what communication should this customer receive? And number two, which of these customers should we send it to? Because again, you know, we could potentially send out hundreds and hundreds of cards for each one of you per month, but with the base program of 150 communications, we want to pick those top 150 customers that have had the transactions in your record that are going to bring them back, you know, in the highest percentages. So it's based on the ranking of the communication and where that customer falls in their life cycle. One thing that we don't do is inundate customers. So if a customer was a thank you customer one week and then they were a missed minor the next week, then obviously we would filter those out. We're not sending multiple cards to the same customers each month.
Yeah, and that's a great question. So the idea is, sending that offer to the right, what makes this program unique, I'm going to share some pretty explosive results here in just a minute, is your ability to target that customer who has the greatest likelihood to purchase services from you. A lot of it's based on where is that customer at in the buying cycle, and what has that customer bought before. And so that's where this program has the intelligence to figure that out. Again, for instance, if a customer's coming up for a state inspection or a safety inspection, they're going to pop up on your 150 list. If a customer is due for certain services and they've got a buying history of actually doing those specific services, they're going to be popping up on your list. So it kind of prioritizes the top 150, but you could do the top 200, top 250. A lot of people start and they'll grow that. And so the idea, again, is to go after the folks that have the greatest likelihood to spend money with you. All right, so let me just quickly go on. This is the results we've had at a store. Automated postcard email communication sent to 11,058 contacts. It's a 4-store location. He received 1,236 customers. He had a 11.2% response rate. He made $452,054 in retention sales over this 3.5 month period of time. It's a $366 rounded up average RO. And so that's the incredible results you get. When you send generic retention cards based on service mileage or certain just date ranges, you don't tend to get the same kind of response. When you send specific messaging to customers who've got buying histories and you're sending them offers based on their current vehicle needs and you're sending it at the right time, that is the only difference. That, and then as Jason mentioned earlier, the 1-2 punch. You're sending them a postcard, but right behind it is an email drip campaign email that's the exact same offers reinforcing the postcard. When you build that kind of personalization and customization in, that's what generates results. You may have 10 that go out that are state inspections, maybe 20 are oil changes, maybe 10 are declined services. I mean, so your 150 could be a mix of multiple communications based upon what your customer base needs for that month. So this is an incredible response that we've gotten. All right, so here's kind of the basic information. Jason, why don't you walk them kind of through the program and let them know the costs and all.
Sure, absolutely. Again, we talk about the concept of simplicity. We want to make it as simple as possible, but we also want to be competitive in the market. We understand that there are other CM programs out there, and a lot of them want to do additional, let us build your website, let us manage your social media. Again, we want to help you focus on direct marketing that is going to bring cars back to your shops. So from that perspective, we've set the pricing up to focus on those things. There are some additional initial setup fees because we have to establish that data connection between your shop and the production company. And that's a connection directly from you to them. That's not one that goes through Mudlick Mail. So there is a little work that has to happen on the front end. But the fortunate news is if you've got a multi-shop setup, then there is there's value in those numbers, right? The economy of scale. So the initial setup fee is $285 and $150 for each additional shop, and that's going to cover all of your setup. It's going to cover the connection to the POS system. It's going to cover the setup of the cards, the initial artwork that has to be done for those things. And then after that, it's a rolling fee of $299 per month. And for that $299, you receive 150 postcards that are mailed out, and those are mailed out automatically. They are sent every week. So again, the response doesn't drive in or doesn't come in a rush. It comes in a trickle in a way that's manageable. It also includes up to 2,000 emails per week. And like Tim said, we've had a lot of customers that have signed up for the pilot programs that have seen the results, and they've come back and said, I want to do more. I want to do more than 150 postcards, which is great. We charge 78 cents per card over and above the 150. And again, we've looked at the market. We've seen what other companies are charging for those postcards. There are companies out there that talk about retention marketing that don't ever talk about response postcards. And if you do talk about responsive postcards with them, they come to you and say, okay, we're going to charge you 79 cents a piece for the first one. So, with our program, you get 150 of them automatically as part of your monthly fee in addition to the emails. So again, we believe it's a great value. Once you see the results and once you see the return on investment, it's one of those things where how could you not do this? In addition to the, just sending of the communications, we've got the additional features and benefits, our, dedicated marketing consultants that are going to help you, that are going to work with you if you have any questions, the help that we do on the mailing analysis, the market analysis for acquisition mailing, and then again, we tie into customer acquisition marketing. See, for us, this is a great tool to use. If you've already been doing acquisition mailings, this is a great tool to add to that to help us continue to improve the quality of those mailings as well.
And let me ask there's a couple of questions here. As far as integrations go, we work with a lot of different CRM, POS systems. So if you've got a certain POS system in mind, please let us know. I know I've seen Mitchell and R-Rider and Profit Boost and all those, and those all should be covered. But you can email us at the end, and I'll send you something that we can kind of verify with you guys. Another question that came up was about, what if you have another system in place already? What do you do with that? And so we've used Kukui at our particular stores, and we're going to continue to use those guys. For us, we don't do a lot of postcards with them. They handle a lot of the marketing management side, and they'll do some email communications for us. But for us, this is really a standalone program. I don't know long-term what the solution might be there, but what I do know is this is a postcard-based program with an email follow-up. That's a very campaign analytic-based program, a set-it-and-forget-it type program that sends you some weekly reports. So in our mind, this is really all you need for customer retention. The results are through the roof. If you like some of those other programs, a lot of the programs out there like Kukui and Demand Force, Mechanic, and a lot of these other guys, they have other things that are a part of their program that are beyond this. Our focus is customer retention with postcards, followed up by email communication. That's all we do. That's what we're really good at. It works extraordinarily well. We believe that's really all you need. But if you personally like some of the other features, that will be a decision for you. I've always said, and I've been doing this a while, is if it's getting a return for you, then it's your call whether or not you want to still use it. But that's a great question. One of the other questions came up about your data. Is it protected? Absolutely protected. Mudlick Mail actually has no access to your data. There are 3 agreement forms that you'll sign with this program. One of those agreement forms basically says that your data is protected, and so the MPI, our data partner, will simply call you to help with the connection, and then the only person that has access to your data is you. And so that's a signed form. You sign it, they sign it. It's not, Mudlick Mail is not even a part of it. And so that is a great deal there. As far as, I think Jason did mean to say 150 postcards are sent per month, not per week, although we've got a lot of customers who opt to do a whole lot more. So that's another good question. I'm kind of going through some of these questions real quick. How customized are the email blasts? Those email blasts, Jason, why don't you talk a little bit about the email customizations?
Yeah, so with the email blasts, we have the ability to set it up so that you can basically put almost anything on there that you'd like. When you sign the initial enrollment form, there's about, I don't want it to sound too intimidating, but there's about 10 pages worth of documentation where you go in and you basically set the features, benefits, and coupons for all of your communications. So there's a section where you talk about the amenities at your location, and there's a list to choose from, where you talk about the different brands that you might serve or service. There's a section where you talk about just the different types of communications that you want to send out. And then within each communication, you actually have the ability to customize the offer, to customize the coupon, and to customize the price point. So, and then again, all that is handled on the setup. So when you first go in, you complete those, and then those communications, or I'm sorry, those features are what's put on the email itself.
All right. And again, a lot of you guys It can absolutely replace other CRM systems completely. But what I would encourage you guys to do before you jump off to us is, if there's certain features and benefits you like about those and you feel like they're paying for themselves, then I would evaluate that. You know, maybe you do both. We've got a lot of people that we're doing that do both. That being the case, this program is a very low cost. It's a 90-day cancel. There's no contracts. It's a 90-day cancellation. You get results sent to you every single week. It's a home run. There's no other program in the country that helps do this intelligent messaging with the analytics behind it. I think what you'll find is the results, and as we'll continue to build case studies, these are unbelievable results that will continue to grow. For those of you that, as we get closer to 4:37, I have listed some information on here on how to contact us. You can go to mudlickmail.com/CRM or email us at crm@mudlickmail.com. Actually, that should be crm@mudlick.com. There's a little typo in there. It's mudlick.com, not Mudlick Mail. But email us or go down our site, give us a call, and we'd love to share some more information with you. For those of you that have some other questions, I'm going to continue to ask or answer some of these questions. If you're already sending postcards with Mudlick Mail, if I do this, would customers get more than one postcard? That's a good question, Jason.
Yeah, so we can work out suppressions. Again, you know, we talk about volume, we talk about quantity being sent out, and you've got to look at, with the CRM program, you're essentially going to be mailing out 150 postcards per month. Right, so you compare that to an acquisition campaign where, you might be sending out 7,500 to 10,000 pieces per month. So yeah, from that perspective, we can work on suppressing those mailings out so that, if they're in the CRM list, then maybe they don't get on the acquisition list, things like that. But from our perspective, when we're talking about a quantity of 150 postcards, we really just want to focus on getting those out into the market. And getting those out in a timely fashion so that it brings the cars back into the shop.
All right, great questions. For those of you guys that are still with me, again, those that are still with me, I just want to say thank you again for joining us. I know I wanted to make sure we keep it easy for you, keep it quick for you guys. We're very excited about the program. I've got a lot of people asking me about integrating with different POS systems. I'd ask that you shoot me an email and let us go ahead and work with you one-on-one. I just want you guys to know that we're really excited about this program. We feel like we can really make a difference in the small business world. And right now, guys, it's so critical that you guys use a program that ensures that you have the right tools to make sure you retain your customers. So again, the one last question I'll answer is, I already have a management system connected with Mudlick. Do I still need the setup fee? It's a totally different program than our current ROI tool. So absolutely will more than pay for itself. You guys will be so excited. I think you guys are going to be very impressed. Please reach out to us directly at mudlickmail.com/CRM. There's a form you can fill out. And then also you can email crm@mudlick.com. Get rid of the mail. crm@mudlick.com, and we really appreciate your time and your business. You guys have a great day, and thanks so much. Take care.